So we've done the near point testing, and now we're going to go to the distance chart. We set the chart up either at 3 meters or 10 feet. And we do that because we expect that the athletes should be able to respond at that distance. Well, we know the young athletes, the ones that are less than 7.5, probably would do better at a closer working distance. For the regular Special Olympics Lions Club International Opening Eyes program, we work at a distance of 3 meters or 10 feet. Now, the nice thing about this chart is there are crowding bars, and the value of that is that it allows not to be so much confusion between the different lines, so that we can actually point to a target outside of the box and be able to still keep up with where the athlete's verbalizing the image. So what I would normally do is they've come from doing the near point testing. If they needed to have a matching card, there's a matching card available that the athlete can hold or the tester could hold. And typically there is a second person at the other end that will allow the picture to be pointed at. So between the person sitting next to the athlete and the person who's pointing, there needs to be some communication so we can move through the test as quickly as possible. I always remind the person who's pointing that he needs to make sure he never goes inside the box, because then you lose the value of the crowding box. The whole point is to ensure we're not showing an isolated symbol, because that would overestimate the acuity on our amblyopes. So typically I would start here. I'd start with the first one. If the athlete was able to verbalize or point to this very quickly, I would probably skip one until it slowed down a little bit. And once he got a little bit slower in responding, I'd go one at a time. As soon as he was unable to do one, I'd go up to the line above it and I'd ask him to read the symbols across. If he got 4 out of 5 correctly, what I'd probably do is push him down one more. And the acuity that we would record is the smallest line he was able to correctly get 4 out of 5 symbols correctly identified. Once he's done with, and this testing is typically done with an occluder over first the right eye, over the left eye, so that he's using the right eye first, and then you will go to the left eye. And what you want to do is make sure that the athlete is wearing the spectacles that they are typically wearing for distance viewing. So that's what we would do with visual acuity. So we do near visual acuity, both eyes open, near glasses. We do distance visual acuity with one eye covered at a time. And we try to go down to threshold quickly by doing it following the images one at a time on each line until they make an error, moving up to the line above, getting 4 out of 5 correct on that line, maybe pushing them 1 or 2 lines below, because oftentimes what the athletes will do is, as they get close to threshold, they realize that they are able to see things and they start to make an attempt to answer it. Now, in some of the athletes where you are changing to a forced choice, we have individual cards that are available. The important thing is to make sure you're using a forced choice with the right 2 targets. So if you are going to force the choice, you will either do the apple versus the circle, or you will do the house versus the square. Those are the things that will discriminate you at the threshold level of visual acuity.